Our next speaker is Christian Sieber from the State Archives of Zurich, from Switzerland. Actually, we are very happy to have two partners from Switzerland in the European Community project. It was not very clear because there were some negotiations ongoing at the time when we proposed the project, but fortunately this was sorted out, and so it is a great pleasure to have the State Archive of Zurich on board. And Christian Sieber will speak about Transcription Swissmade, the projects of the State Archives of Zurich. He is head of the division for edition projects at the State Archive and head of the project of the electronic publication of law sources of the Canton of Zurich before 1798. He made studies in general history, in auxiliary science of history and constitutional law at the University of Zurich, received master thesis on late medieval Swiss history. From 1990 to 2010, he was research assistant in different editing projects and has done several publications on late medieval Swiss history and historiography in the Middle Ages and in the humanism.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I have to thank for the invitation and the opportunity to present you the project Transcription and Digitation of the protocols of the Parliament in German Kantonsrat and of the resolutions of the government in German Regierungsrat of the Canton of Zurich in the 19th century. Thanks to this project, which started in 2009 and will come to an end next year, Günther Mühlberger contacted the State Archives of Zurich in summer 2014, asking whether we would be interested to participate in the project READ, using our data set for training of handwritten text recognition models. In this way, as an important institutional content holder, we became partner of the project READ, mainly in Work Package 8, called Large Scale Demonstrator. The project, with the acronym TKR, includes also the printed parliamentary protocols and governmental resolutions of the 20th century. In this part of the project, we use established OCR technology, followed by manual quality assurance. TKR is actually the largest project in the Division for Editing Projects in the State Archives of Zurich, an archive founded in 1837 as the archive of the Canton of Zurich and its legal predecessors, and part of the Department of Justice and Home Affairs. Actually, we have some 30 kilometers of files in our repositories, a staff of about 70 employees, and around 1,200 visitors every year. One of our important documents, by the way, was written here in Marburg, where the Swiss reformer Ulrich Zwingli met Martin Luther and other theologians in 1529 to discuss their differences. The so-called Marburg Articles with the signatures of the well-known participants is recorded in only 2 copies, one in this house and one in the State Archives of Zurich. Editing projects have a long tradition in the Zurich State Archives, starting with medieval charters in the 19th century. In 2009 has been established a specialized division for editing projects beside the 5 existing divisions throughout the archival workflow, to make an effort to fulfill information needs and information rights in the 21st century in a contemporary way. Since then, several pioneering projects in online publishing of historical source material, combining transcriptions and pictures of the original documents, started, financed by third-party funds, namely the Public Lottery Fund of the Canton of Zurich. Some smaller projects are already completed. The various projects cover the time after as well as before the French Revolution as an important break in Swiss and Zurich history, as you can see in this overview that is not complete. All projects have in common to be based on the archive's database, the Archival Information System Scope Archive, providing maximum guarantee for long-time data management and data storage. Public access to metadata, full text of the transcriptions and pictures of the original documents is ensured by the online catalog of the archive and furthermore by the metadata search engine Archives Online, including meanwhile the queries of 23 Swiss archives, which is also available in English. The main criterion to transcribe the parliamentary protocols and governmental resolutions of the Canton of Zurich and to make them online available was their characteristic of central records, leading to almost every issue in the history of the leading member state of the Swiss Confederation during more than 200 years. A full-text search for Marburg results in 22 hits, with among other issues the grant of Zurich citizenship to a certain Heinrich Dillflug from Marburg, employee at the industrial company Eschowies in Zurich in 1864. Here you have the complete text of this grant of the Zurich citizenship and the picture of the original document. The other example was the appointment of Hermann Suchier, associate professor at the University of Marburg, to a chair in Roman studies at the University of Zurich in 1874. Transcription Swiss made, what does this mean in practice? A group of 10 to 15 students in a part-time employment of 40% transcribes for meanwhile 6 years more than 200 pages of text written in a standardized German current handwriting. After an introduction and training during 3 weeks, the students are paid by transcribed characters based on an appropriate target value of 5,000 characters per hour. We provide the students enlarged copies of the original documents, black and white printouts from the microfilms produced in our audiovisual media center and digitalized by an external service provider. At the same time, we process the image files to publish them together with the transcribed text. The transcribed text, on the other hand, is entered in a Microsoft Word template per single protocol or resolution, with basic metadata like shelf mark, original title, date and original page numbers in the header and in the document properties, as well as the name or the acronym of the transcriber and the date of the transcription at the end of the text. Additional metadata like provenance, legal protection period, and accessibility are recorded in the input forms of the archival information system. We mark the page breaks in the transcriptions, but not the line breaks, and we adopt in part the layout of the original text, but in view of the volume of texts only in a very simple way, just as an orientation to the user who wants to compare the original with the transcription. For the same reason, we limit ourselves to the transcription without any annotations, as one would expect in a historical critical edition. The transcription is followed by a proofreading of the text by another student of the team and additional checks with macros. As a result, we can ensure a consistently high level of text quality, following well-defined guidelines as accurate transcription of original notation, including capitalization, compound spelling, orthography, and punctuation. Nevertheless, misreadings in the transcriptions are not excluded, especially relating to names of persons and places, as well as to abbreviations and currency symbols. So we are grateful to any feedback on our work. For the publication, we convert the Word files with the transcriptions and the JPEG files with the corresponding pictures to the well-known PDF format, more precisely to the archival format PDF A to B. Every month, some 1,000 protocols and resolutions go online, the last time yesterday morning. Most users prefer the full-text search as their default search in the query to find a certain term, but the documents are also, as shown, accessible through the archive plan search, navigating in the hierarchical tree structure of the archive down to the deepest level of units of description called document in the Zurich State Archives. There you found, as shown, the single parliamentary protocol or governmental resolution as a PDF file, linked to the metadata of the unit of description. Additional access to the transcriptions by indexing or keywording them have not been realized thus far. More than 90% of the parliamentary protocols and governmental resolutions have been transcribed. In the last 6 years, we will complete this part of the project TKR in a few months without HTR, and then concentrate our efforts on the printed texts of the 20th century. But as a partner of READ, we expect stimulations in further developing our strategy and our methods concerning future editing projects. Thank you for attention.
Thank you.